Well, folks, Veteran Outdoorsman here, and I'm sorry I didn't get you any video. Everything happened pretty fast, and it was dark. Well, I mean, it was legal light, but there wasn't enough light for the camera, and there wasn't enough time to even get it going. He came in quick. But let me give you a peek at what I shot on Missouri public land this morning. I think you're going to like it. I know I do. I tease you a little bit. There he is. Not a bad buck, especially for public land. And I was about a half mile in. I'm about halfway back to the truck now. I'm taking a break because I'm old and fat. And I just figured that what I'd do is let you guys see it. I'll do a more of an exit interview once I get back to the truck, and I'll show you him in the truck. But I'll give you a little bit of an overview right now. I walked in this morning, cool, crisp morning. I had 28 degrees this morning, frost on everything, beautiful morning. And I went back to a spot that I'd scouted. I saw 5 deer there opening day, which was 2 days ago. And I missed one, which sucks, but it happens. I saw a buck that I'm pretty sure is this one, but I could be wrong. I didn't get a shot at him. Saw a bunch of does. Shot at a doe with my old 30-30. Well, this morning it was going to be clear and crisp and cool, so I decided I was going to bring my 30-06 with the scope, give me the best opportunity. I took my 30-30 with iron sights the other day because it was going to rain all day and I didn't want to mess with trying to keep the scope lenses clear. So I brought my 30-06. I got down close to where I was wanting to sit, and I didn't even realize the guy had a ladder stand there, and he hollered, "Hunter, up here." So I thought, well, I'll go a little further down, and I went a little further than I really wanted to because I wanted to get away from him. Last thing I wanted to do was be in a position where we both see the same deer or where we could potentially shoot at each other. So I went a little further down, not too far from where I was sitting Saturday morning. And I heard a big clatter. And I thought, that's got to be a deer because it was just legal light. And the squirrels are still up in the trees yet. It's got to be a deer. So I got ready, put my gun up on my knee, and waited a little bit. I could hear him sound like he's coming forever. And finally I could see him, and I saw antler, and he was snorting the ground and stomping his feet, and there must have been a doe going through there pretty well right before that I hadn't did before I got there. That or I was just blind. But I mean, he was sniffing the ground and he was all rutted up. And I was kind of behind a blowdown. And when he got behind the tree, I got in position. And as soon as he was clear, I put the crosshair behind his shoulder and pulled the trigger. And he ran about 20 yards up a hill and stopped. And I was just about to shoot him again. And I saw him get shaky-legged. And he fell backwards and barrel rolled down the hill. Laid there, and that was it. Double lungs with a 30-06. They don't go far. Sprayed blood everywhere. But what I'm really happy about is it's a nice buck. It's on public land. I scouted. I put more effort into hunting public land this year than I have in a long time, because public land's always just been my, well, if I'm not doing any good on my good spots, I'll go try this out, try something different, or maybe a place to fill a doe tag or something like that. And this year I made the decision that this was going to be my primary. I have not hunted any private land this year. I did secure permission again to hunt a spot that I've hunted in the past. It's 80 acres. I've killed some nice bucks out there. I may go and do some doe patrol later on this week, since all the pressure's off now and I got my buck. But not even knowing if I was going to get to hunt that place this year, because I wasn't able to get a hold of the landowner till right before season. I put all my effort and all my scouting into hunting public ground, and to getting far as bow hunting goes, I wasn't hunting that far from the truck because this place isn't that pressured. But for rifle, I wanted to get away from everybody. I didn't manage to do that. There was a hunter within a few hundred yards of me when I shot this deer. And don't go thinking that I'm sitting up on top of somebody or something like that. He was 2 draws over, and we were in really thick timber. We weren't hunting the same deer. We weren't seeing the same deer. I mean, sure, this one might have gone past him if I hadn't have shot it, but the same thing could have happened. A deer could have come the other direction. But we were safe. I was ethical. I was far enough away from him that we were both comfortable. We weren't going to be shooting at each other, things like that. But I was glad I knew where he was, because I'm glad he didn't come in behind me, because if that had happened, I wouldn't have known where he was, and if a deer had come up that direction, that could have been bad. But he was kind of hidden in a draw. He was very safe. He was hidden in a draw and behind some hills. I decided, because of where he was, that I wanted a big tree behind me, so I sat next to a really big oak tree, with my back against it, between him and me, just for safety's sake. And it worked out great. Sitting on the ground, the deer never knew I was there. It's a 9-point. I'll get you some better look at it here in a little bit. It's a mainframe 8 with a kicker off the back. Beautiful deer, in my opinion. Not the biggest deer I killed, but probably the biggest, or pretty close, on public ground. Only the second deer I've ever killed on public land with a rifle, with a centerfire rifle. I've killed several with muzzleloader and bow, because that's typically my MO on public ground. But today, I had the old .6 that I've had 12 years now. This is 11th or 12th deer I've killed with it. Hopefully I'll stack up a doe or two a little later on this year and really, put it through its paces. But actually, probably what I'll do from now on for the rest of the season, and I've got the rest of the week to hunt and the weekend, and even the mornings of the last 2 days. But probably what I'll do is I'll take my pistol. I wish I'd had that this morning. I could have killed that deer with a pistol, no problem. It was only about 20 yards shot. But probably what I'll do is I'll take my 30-30 or my pistol, maybe my SKS, something like that, and try to get a doe with something different. The pressure's off. I can use some different methods and have some fun. So, this is Veteran Outdoorsman. I'll see you guys here back at the truck, and I'll give you a better look at him and get myself a little washed up and whatnot. You're looking at a happy, happy man right now. We'll see you a little bit later. Well, folks, I made it back to the truck. I got him loaded. And let's see. There he is. And this is a 6.5 foot bed. Not a bad sized deer. See if I can get you a better look at him. I'm just tickled to death to kill the public land deer after doing all this scouting. Ooh, I think I just throwed my back out. That wasn't good. But after scouting all summer and bow hunting and just really doing my best to figure them out, I finally got this dude. Just to give you a little bit of perspective, there he is. I'm pleased to death. I'm very happy that I killed this deer. Honestly, had he been a spike, I'd probably be just as happy. I decided today that I was going to shoot the first legal deer I saw, and I did that. Give you a little backstory on, a little more backstory than what I've already give you. On Saturday, which was opening day, I think I mentioned already that I saw several deer. I missed one. But I did have a doe come up, and I'm gonna load my rifle into the scabbard here. It's unloaded already. I unloaded it before I started dragging that deer. Didn't want to get tempted to shoot another one. That would not have been That made for a good day and a bad day all at the same time if that had happened. Yeah, some barking spiders out here. But anyway, I did have a doe about 50 yards from me Saturday morning. And I just couldn't get a shot. I had a shot the very front part of her chest and her neck, and with the rifle I was shooting with iron sights, I just wasn't comfortable with that shot. Had I had my 30-06, I probably would have took it, but it was raining so bad, I didn't want to take a scoped gun. So, and then I had a buck come in probably 20 yards behind me, and run up a hill and stop a couple of times. And I've got a folding sight on that 30-30, and I'd bumped it and it was folded. And by the time I got it flipped up, the deer was gone. And I'm not sure that ain't the same deer. I didn't get a real good look at him Saturday, but I kind of think that was the same deer. Which, if he was, that's pretty cool. Try and get the tailgate shut. Whew. If he was, that's pretty cool. You know, I only saw him basically from that position there. And he sure got the same frame and everything, but again, I just didn't get that good a look. So I'm not sure. But he was what I would consider a shooter, for sure. And then this dude showed up this morning. Man, a doe must have been right in front of me when I got in. I got in the woods a little late this morning, later than I wanted to, and didn't get to sit exactly where I wanted to because there was another hunter there. Now that turned out to be good though, because I don't know that I would have seen this deer if I had sat further up the creek like I had intended. So I sat pretty close to where I was this morning. Put a big oak tree between the hunter and me just to be safe. Then I waited after I shot him. I waited till about 8:30 start dragging him out because I wanted to give the guy down the road a little bit of time to kill a deer before I walked in front of him with mine. Just to be courteous. I mean, this is public land. Anybody can come in here and people will say, well, it's public land, they should expect it. And I expect it. And most people do expect it. But that doesn't mean you can't be courteous. If I wasn't so wore out, you'd be able to tell how excited I am. I'm ecstatic. This is so cool to put in all that time. I mean, I've killed deer on public land before. And honestly, most of them have been luck. Places that I'd never scouted. I mean, the first deer I ever killed on public land, I'd never set foot in the place I hunted until about 2 hours before I shot the deer. I did shoot an 8-pointer a few years ago with a crossbow that I had seen the 2 days previous, and because of that, I set up in a specific spot, and I saw the deer, and I made a shot, and I killed it. I've had, a little bit of scouting here and there, but I worked on this, and God really blessed me. And let me tell you something, and some of you may just shrug this off, but this is how I look at it, and why I think God blessed me today. I got up yesterday morning, and from being all stooped over Saturday on a stump in the cold, wet rain and everything, my back was killing me. I couldn't hardly stand up. And I really thought about not going to church. I go to church every Sunday. I really thought about not going to church. And then I thought, no, because you do everything in your power, talking to myself, to get out there and hunt. If you woke up with your back hurting, you need to go to church. I said, okay, I'm going to go, because I'm going to hunt Monday. So I got up, and I went, and I went there about 20 minutes, and my back was feeling a lot better. And by the end of the day, my back didn't hurt anymore. Now, it's hurting a little bit now after dragging that deer. By the end of the day, my back didn't hurt anymore. I got up this morning, my back felt great. I get out there in the woods, and I shoot this deer. And people will say, well, you scouted, you did this, you did, and that's true. But I think God blessed me this morning. God give me the buck, give me not just a deer. I'd have been happy with a button buck or a yearling doe. But God give me a nice buck on public land. God gave me the ability to drag it out. And I just want you to know how thankful I am for that. That's cool. I know what my family's going to have for Thanksgiving dinner next week. We're going to have deer roast or something like that. God provided from His bounty for my family today. There are gnats flying around. And for that, I am very grateful. So, not everybody's got land to hunt. Not everybody's got private leases or their own land or things like that. I don't. I own a quarter of an acre in the middle of a small town. And I say small town, I mean, it got 1,800 people or something like that. I'm not even sure if it's got that many. It's small enough it don't have a Walmart, and around here it's not a town if it don't have a Walmart. So, pretty small town out in rural Missouri. I'm 12 miles from my house, and I've got thousands of acres that I can hunt on this patch. And I go a little further down the road, there's another place, a couple thousand acres. If I'd have turned off a little bit, there's a couple. You don't need your own land, though that's nice. And trust me, I love hunting private ground. And before the week's over, I might do some doe patrol on some private ground. But you don't need all this fancy stuff. Everybody loves to watch the Primos guys on Cottonmouth Ranch, and I'm one of them. And every time they drop a new video, I watch, and it's cool. And they've got 15,000 acres or something over 3 states, and they kill some big deer, and it's awesome, and we all wish we could be them. But you don't need it to kill a nice deer. There's the proof. And I've seen old Willie Primos kill some deer like that. On River Run, on the Cottonmouth, different spots. Because they don't put a big limit on their size until they get to 10-pointers, and then they got to be 5.5 years old, something like that. I think this deer's about 3.5. Starting to get a little bit of a Roman nose on him. He's got a little bit of mass there at the bases and that. I think he's about 3.5. I could be wrong too. I don't care. He's as old as he's gonna get, I tell you that. But you don't have to have. It'd be great. But as a taxpayer, you fund a lot of public land. And if you do your homework, you get out in the woods and enjoy yourself. And then every now and then, you get a bonus. This may be, the last 2 deer I've killed was on public land. This may be the only deer I kill. This year I'm happy. If I get a doe, I'll be ecstatic. My little girl's going to be happy to see this today when she gets off of school. And probably what I'm going to do, because she's still got a buck tag left, probably what I'll do is Saturday morning I'll find a spot and we'll go hunt. And this might be private ground, but we'll go hunt, and I'm going to try to get her a deer. That would be cool. I'm done. She went during youth season. She's happy if she doesn't get to go again. She's not at the age where she's just super into it yet, but she enjoys it. I think I'm going to get her up Saturday morning, and I'm going to take her, and I'll take the camera equipment and stuff and try to get that on video. If she kills a deer, I don't care if I can grab it by all 4 legs and walk out with it. If she kills one, I promise you're going to see some video. Well, I'm glad to be back to the truck. I'm glad I killed the deer I did. I'm thankful to my Lord and Savior for what he did for me today. This is Veteran Outdoorsman. God bless y'all. We'll see you again.